ever notice how our grandmothers never complained about newborn sleep the way we do today? My grandmother raised 8 children and she told me, "Baby, we just wrapped them up tight and kept going." But here's what researchers discovered that shocked them. Modern parents are actually getting 133 nights less sleep in their baby's first year compared to previous generations. So today, I'm walking you through the 5 essential strategies that transform those exhausting newborn nights into manageable rest periods. These 5 proven approaches are the village sleep system that lets you actually recover, the biological reset method that works with your baby's brain development, the ancient wrapping technique that triggers deep sleep, the partner contract that prevents resentment and burnout, and the mental load release that protects your emotional well-being. The first thing you should do is build what I call the village sleep system. So when my first daughter was born, I was living away from my family in Toronto, and I remember one night I was so exhausted, I literally fell asleep standing up while bouncing her. And that's when I realized something had shifted from how my mother's generation handled newborns. Back then, your auntie would take the baby for 2 hours while you napped. Your neighbor would hold them while you showered. But research from the Surgeon General shows that 65% of new parents today experience complete isolation. And single parents? That jumps to 77%. And here's what nobody tells you about modern parenting. We've replaced the village with Instagram. A study from 2024 found that instead of getting actual help, we're scrolling through perfect nursery photos at 3 a.m. while our babies scream. The social media pressure makes us feel like failures when really, we're just missing the support system humans have relied on for thousands of years. So what I did was create my own village system. Number 1, I made a sleep support schedule. I literally wrote down every person who offered to help. My cousin who worked nights, my friend who was up early with her toddler, even my mail carrier who mentioned she raised twins. And I assigned each person a specific time slot. Tuesday mornings, my cousin would come for 2 hours. Thursday afternoons, my neighbor would walk the baby while I slept. Number 2, I removed the guilt barrier. Caribbean mothers, we're taught to do everything ourselves, right? But Columbia University researchers found that mothers who accept help in the 4th trimester have significantly better mental health outcomes. So I practiced saying yes, thank you, instead of no, I'm fine. And when people asked what I needed, I had specific requests ready. Hold the baby from 2 to 4 p.m. so I can sleep. Bring food that I can eat with one hand. Do a load of laundry. The point is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And studies show that sleep-deprived parents are more likely to have car accidents, develop postpartum depression, and struggle with bonding. Creating your village isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Next, you need to understand the biological reset method, and this completely changed how I approached those brutal night wakings. So researchers at Penn State discovered something fascinating. Newborn sleep cycles last only 45 to 50 minutes compared to our 90-minute adult cycles. But here's where it gets interesting. Your baby's brain doesn't produce melatonin until 6 to 8 weeks old. That means for the first 2 months, they literally cannot tell day from night. I remember with my second daughter, I was trying every sleep trick in the book, but nothing worked until I understood this biological reality. So here's what actually helps. Number 1, during the day, expose your baby to bright light, especially morning sunlight. Take them outside, open all the curtains, don't tiptoe around. Studies show this helps establish their circadian rhythm faster. Number 2, after 6 p.m., dim everything. I mean everything. I got amber nightlights for feeding. I turned off overhead lights. I even dimmed my phone screen. Your baby's developing brain uses these light cues to start understanding bedtime. Number 3, and this is crucial, stop fighting the 45-minute cycles. Instead of trying to force longer sleep, plan for them. I would set gentle alarms for 40 minutes after baby fell asleep, so I could be there to help them transition to the next cycle without fully waking. Researchers call this sleep bridging, and it's how babies eventually learn to connect their sleep cycles on their own. But here's the revelation that changes everything. This isn't a flaw in your baby. Their brains are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. These short cycles allow for frequent feeding, which is essential for growth and brain development. Once I stopped seeing it as broken sleep and started seeing it as biologically normal infant sleep, my whole mindset shifted. Which brings us to the ancient wrapping technique. Now, my great-grandmother used to wrap babies so tight, she'd say, like a pastry. And for the longest time, I thought it was just old-fashioned nonsense. But then Dr. Harvey Karp's research validated what Caribbean grandmothers have known forever. Babies are born 3 months too early. Think about it. Compared to other mammals, human babies are helpless. A horse can walk within hours, but our babies, they need what researchers call the 4th trimester, 3 more months of womb-like conditions. And that's exactly what proper wrapping provides. Here's the science. In the womb, your baby was held tight, hearing constant white noise from your blood flow, and was in constant motion. That's why the most effective wrapping recreates these conditions. Number 1, use a large, thin muslin cloth, not those tiny receiving blankets. You want something at least 44 inches square. Number 2, the wrap needs to be snug around the arms, but loose around the hips. This prevents the startle reflex that wakes babies while allowing healthy hip development. I learned to do the diamond fold. Lay the cloth in a diamond shape. Fold the top corner down. Place baby with shoulders at the fold. Then wrap left side over, bottom up, and right side around. Number 3, pair the wrap with white noise. Not music, not nature sounds. Actual white noise that mimics the whooshing they heard in the womb. Studies show it needs to be about 50 to 55 decibels, which is like a shower running. I used a simple fan pointed away from the baby. The transformation was immediate. My daughter went from waking every 30 minutes to sleeping 2 to 3 hour stretches. But here's what blew my mind. Research shows that babies who are properly wrapped in the 4th trimester actually cry 42% less. They're not manipulating you or being difficult. They're just asking for the security they had for 9 months. Now, the 4th strategy is the partner contract, and this saved my marriage. Henry Ford health researchers found that sleep deprivation is one of the biggest predictors of relationship conflict after a baby. But here's the problem. Most couples try to wing it, and that's when resentment builds. After 3 weeks of my husband and I both getting up for every feeding, we were zombies who snapped at each other constantly. That's when my midwife introduced me to the sleep contract concept. And it's not what you think. It's not about keeping score or being rigid. It's about preserving at least one functional parent at all times. Here's how we structured ours. From 8 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., I was on duty. I slept in the baby's room on a mattress on the floor, and my husband got uninterrupted sleep in our room with earplugs. Then we switched. 1:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. was his shift. The off-duty parent got 5.5 hours of continuous sleep. But here's the key detail everyone misses. We included contingency planning. If the on-duty parent felt dangerously exhausted, they could wake their partner by saying our code word backup. No guilt, no arguments, just immediate help. We also planned for cluster feeding nights where we'd both be up, but we'd take turns holding the baby while the other rested on the couch. The research backs this up completely. Parents who create structured sleep plans report 60% less relationship conflict and significantly lower rates of postpartum depression. You're not being selfish by protecting sleep. You're ensuring at least one parent can function safely. Now that you understand the physical strategies, let's talk about the mental load release. This last part is where everything clicks because your mindset determines whether these techniques actually work. Researchers were shocked to find that 70% of new parents say parenting is harder now than 20 years ago, with technology and social media as the top reasons. I'll never forget scrolling through Instagram at 2 a.m., seeing another mom's post about her baby sleeping through the night at 6 weeks and feeling like a complete failure. But then I discovered something that changed everything. Those perfect posts are killing us. Studies show parents who limit social media usage during the 4th trimester have significantly better mental health outcomes. So here's what I did. Number 1, I deleted all social media apps from my phone for the first 12 weeks. Instead of scrolling, when I was up at night, I listened to comedy podcasts or audiobooks. My brain needed rest, not comparison. Number 2, I started what I call good enough parenting. Perfect is the enemy of good, especially with newborn sleep. Some nights the baby slept in the wrap, some nights in the bassinet. Some nights my husband walked her in the stroller at 3 a.m. while I slept. We followed safe sleep guidelines, but we stopped chasing perfection. Number 3, I found my anchor thought. When everything felt overwhelming, I'd repeat, "This is temporary. My baby's brain is developing exactly as it should. I am doing enough." Research shows that parents who practice self-compassion during the 4th trimester have better long-term mental health outcomes. But here's what sealed it for me. I learned about a study showing that mothers in cultures with strong extended family support rarely experience the same level of sleep stress we do. It's not that their babies sleep better. It's that the burden is shared, and there's no shame in needing help. You know what's powerful? When you stop fighting biology and start working with it, your baby isn't broken. You're not failing. You're both navigating the most intense developmental period of human life with less support than any generation before us. But now, you have strategies that actually address the root causes, not just the symptoms. My youngest is 2 now, and I sleep through the night. But I remember those early months vividly. What got me through wasn't pretending everything was fine or pushing through exhaustion. It was accepting that the 4th trimester is supposed to be intense, building support systems, and protecting my mental health fiercely. Look, every baby is different, and what works for one family might need tweaking for another. But these 5 strategies, the village system, biological reset, ancient wrapping, partner contract, and mental load release, they're based on both scientific research and generations of maternal wisdom. You're already an incredible parent just by seeking out this information. Your baby is lucky to have someone who cares enough to learn and adapt. Trust yourself, accept help, and remember, those sleepless nights do end. You just need the right support to get through them safely and sanely. If you want my complete 4th trimester survival guide with the exact sleep schedules, wrapping diagrams, and partner contract templates I used, check out the link below. It includes troubleshooting for common sleep challenges and a community of parents supporting each other through these intense early months. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that we're stronger together than we are scrolling alone at 3 a.m.